The land is restless, the shadows are longer. The silence is broken by the sound of steel against the ground. Something powerful is returning, and this time, it won't be quiet. The screen is black. A single sound cuts through the silence. A slow, heavy creak of metal turning, like an oil rig waking from its sleep. The screen fades into the image of the land, wide, endless, raw, stretching as far as the eye can see. Dust drifts across the horizon. The sun burns low, orange and merciless, casting long shadows over the earth. A voice breaks in, deep and steady, carrying weight without needing a name. The land remembers. Every deal, every lie, every broken promise buried beneath its soil. The camera doesn't show faces. Instead, it moves across faceless silhouettes, boots planted firmly in the dirt, hands gripping steel pipes, papers signed in dimly lit offices. The sound of a pen scratching across a contract echoes louder than it should, as if the land itself is listening. A pair of hands slides a document across a desk. Another hand takes it with hesitation. A pause, and then the sound of the paper slamming down. Like a final verdict, the music builds quietly, tense strings underlining the words as the voice continues. This isn't just oil. This isn't just land. This is power. And power demands a price. A shot of oil bursting from the ground interrupts the silence. Dark liquid sprays against the light, turning the orange sunset into something darker, almost blood red. The camera cuts to a shadow leaning on the hood of a dusty pickup truck. The truck's headlights flick on, blinding the screen for a split second before cutting back to the rig's silhouette towering against the fading sky. The scene shifts to the quiet interior of a farmhouse. Wooden floors creak as heavy boots walk across them. A chair scrapes against the floor. A hand picks up a photograph from the table. Faces in the picture are blurred, unrecognizable, yet the tension is clear. The hand trembles before the photo is slammed face down. The voice whispers now, sharp and cutting. In this world, trust is the first thing to break, and the last thing to survive. The pace quickens. Images flash. A gun being placed on a table, the reflection of fire in a glass of whiskey, a contract torn in half, oil spreading across dirt like spilled ink. Each shot is faceless, each image just a piece of the puzzle. The voice grows stronger, carrying the weight of inevitability. Every choice cuts deeper, every step leaves a mark. And once you cross the line, there's no going back. The music climbs. We see a shadow of a man walking across a field, his shape outlined by the dying light. We never see his face, only his presence, powerful and unshakable. A pump jack beats in the distance, its rhythm like a heartbeat, relentless and unstoppable. The voice finishes the section with a final line echoing into silence. The land takes everything and gives nothing back. The screen cuts to black again. The sound of an engine revs. The wheels of a truck tear across gravel, and the beat of the music hits hard. The tension hangs, heavy and unbroken. This is the reintroduction. The reminder that what lies beneath the ground is never truly gone. That the story, like the oil, is waiting to rise again. Asterisk, the silence does not last. The sound of a pen striking against paper returns, but this time faster, harder, like a deal being signed under pressure. The screen flickers with images that never show a face, only the pieces of power, stacks of money folded into a leather briefcase, a hand gripping a contract tighter than it should, a lighter flicked open in the dark, the flare from its flame, dancing across shadows. A voice, low and unrelenting, cuts in. Every deal has a cost. Every promise comes with a debt. And when the ground shakes, someone must pay. The visuals move faster now, building a rhythm that mirrors the rising stakes. An oil rig pumps furiously in the background, its grinding metal almost screaming as sparks fall from machinery under strain. We see faceless silhouettes in a boardroom. One hand slams down on the table, another points across the room, contracts scattered like fallen cards. The voice continues. Beneath the shine of wealth, cracks begin to form. Beneath the weight of loyalty, betrayal takes root. The screen Flashes to the silhouette of two figures shaking hands in an alley, their grip too tight to be trust. One hand slips away with a hidden envelope, disappearing into the dark. In another shot, boots kick open a door, wood splinters, papers scatter, and silence turns to chaos. A gun is laid down on a polished wooden desk, the barrel pointing directly at a stack of unsigned contracts. The music throbs now, drums pounding like the sound of war approaching. We move to the land itself, the true heart of conflict. A wide aerial shot of barren fields, cracked soil stretching outward, as if the earth is crying from being drilled too deep. Oil spills across dry dirt, seeping into every crack like veins of darkness. A pair of gloved hands scoop the black liquid, letting it drip slowly, thick and heavy, through their fingers. The voice sharpens, each word carved like a blade. This land bleeds wealth. And when it bleeds, it calls vultures from every corner. The tension grows heavier. Faceless figures clash in half-lit rooms, papers torn, glasses shattered, doors slammed. A shadow of a figure raises their hand in anger, while another shadow retreats into the corner. No faces, no names. Only the war between loyalty and greed. The camera lingers on a single image, two hands once clasped together in brotherhood, now pulling apart violently, fingers slipping away. The voice deepens. When family is divided, when trust turns to ash, nothing stands between survival and ruin. The imagery shifts again. A pickup truck races down a dirt road, headlights piercing the night. In the back, oil drums rattle, chained down but threatening to break free. A storm rolls across the sky, lightning cutting through the dark clouds, illuminating faceless silhouettes waiting in the rain. One figure holds a briefcase, another grips a shotgun. The storm is not just weather, it's war on the horizon. The camera cuts to a quiet room again. A whiskey glass is filled slowly, the amber liquid swirling like a storm in miniature. A hand raises it, the reflection of fire glowing in its surface. The voice lowers to a whisper, intimate and cold. Greed is louder than loyalty, and blood is cheaper than oil. The screen flashes, faster, oil rigs on fire, contracts burned, dirt roads streaked with tire marks. Hands clutching steering wheels, knuckles white with fear or rage. A stack of money tossed onto a table, only for half of it to be swept away by another hand. The sound of gunfire echoes once, then silence. The faceless figures remain still in the aftermath, unmoving, as if frozen in the moment before everything breaks. The music drops suddenly, the silence heavier than noise. A single pump jack moves slowly in the distance, its rhythm slowed to a mournful heartbeat. The voice closes the section with words that feel like a warning, a prophecy carved into stone. When fortunes rise, kingdoms fall. When power grows, trust dies. And in the fight for the land, no one walks away clean. The screen fades to black. The sound of thunder rolls, followed by the steady click of boots on gravel. The storm is coming, and the land will not forgive. The storm finally breaks. Rain lashes against the ground, hammering the dirt into mud, beating down on trucks, barns, and steel. The screen opens with headlights cutting through the darkness, two beams slicing the night wide open. The growl of an engine is low and uncheckable, like a predator stalking the earth. The sound grows louder, closer, unstoppable. A shadowed truck barrels down a dirt road, water spraying from its wheels, thunder chasing behind. The voice cuts in, sharp, deliberate. You thought it was over. You thought the land had gone silent, but silence never lasts. And he is back. The camera doesn't show a face, never a face. Instead, the camera lingers on the signs of his return, boots hitting wet gravel, mud splashing with every heavy step. A gloved hand pushes open the door of a truck. The hinge groans in protest, like it knows the weight of what's coming. The figure pauses at the threshold of the storm, coat whipping in the wind. He doesn't look at the camera because he doesn't have to. His presence is enough. The music surges, strings and drums colliding with thunder. Quick flashes ignite. The screen, a drill roaring back to life, sparks spitting from steel. A barn door slamming open as shadows rush inside. Contracts laid out again, the ink still wet, but this time signed with a harder hand. The voice grows louder. He is not here to make peace. He is not here to forget. He is here to reclaim what was his. We move back to the land. The oil fields stretch endlessly, but something has changed. The rigs pump harder, faster, as if driven by fury. The earth shudders beneath the pressure. A gloved hand grips a lever and pulls it, clicks into place, and the roar of machinery explodes. Black gold gushes into the air, spraying across the night like a dark crown. Lightning flashes behind it, painting the sky in jagged white. This is not nature. This is war disguised as industry. The return is not quiet. The return is not gentle. We see shadows clashing in a dim warehouse, figures moving like chess pieces across the floor. A chair is knocked over, a gun slides across. The concrete, a briefcase bursts open, spilling cash into the storm wind that slips through broken windows. The camera never lingers on faces, only on movements, fragments, and consequences. The voice pushes harder. Enemies wait in the dark. Allies turn into threats. And every deal is a knife, hidden and waiting to cut. The camera shifts again. A neon sign flickers in a small-town bar. Half the letters dead, buzzing in the rain. Inside, hands slide shot glasses across the counter, the liquid spilling as a sudden fist slams down. Shadows shift in the back room, voices argue, papers are exchanged. The tension is heavy, alive, thick enough to choke. But in the corner, unseen but undeniable, the silhouette of the man sits quietly, waiting. His return is not loud because it doesn't need to be. His silence is the loudest thing in the room. The screen flashes with images of power, a bank vault door clanging shut, keys turning in locks, guards moving in silence with rifles in hand. A new building rises under construction, its steel skeleton glowing under floodlights in the rain. Each image is a symbol, the empire returning, rebuilding, reclaiming. The voice drops lower, slower, almost reverent. The land remembers him. The soil still carries his name. And no matter who stands in his way, the ground itself will move for him. The storm outside intensifies. Lightning cuts through the black again, illuminating a single shadow standing against the sky, his coat whipping like a flag. We see only his back, his stance heavy and unshaken. He looks down at the oil field, the rigs moving in rhythm with his heartbeat. The camera doesn't dare approach closer. Instead, it holds still, letting the weight of his return settle across the audience. The music surges again. Bigger than before, drums like thunder, strings like lightning. The voice rises with it, fierce and absolute. He was gone, but not defeated. He was broken, but not erased, and now he is back. Stronger, harder, and ready to take everything. The screen cuts to black. A single word appears in white, stark and unshakable. Landman. The sound of a pump jack slams, once loud, final, undeniable. The return is here. And nothing will ever be the same again. Asterisk, the ground is still shaking. The screen is dark, but the echo of boots striking gravel cuts through the silence, steady and deliberate. Each step sounds heavier than the last, like the weight of the earth itself is moving. The camera slowly fades into a barren oil field at night. The rigs move. With a relentless rhythm, their steel arms swinging like hammers against the sky. Thunder rumbles above, a storm refusing to die down. Lightning rips across the clouds, and in its flash we see a silhouette broad, unyielding, standing alone against the horizon. He doesn't move, but his presence swallows the frame. The music swells, climbing like a heartbeat that can no longer be contained. Quick flashes fill the screen again, faster than before, overwhelming in their force. A contract slamming shut with a stamp. Money spilling across a table, grabbed by greedy hands. A glass shattering against the floor. A truck spinning across a muddy road, headlights blazing into the storm. An oil bursting from the ground, spraying upward like a black crown against the night sky. The voice returns, sharper now, unrelenting, like a verdict being delivered. The land demands a reckoning. The fight is not finished. The war is only beginning. The rhythm grows faster. A door bursts open in the night. A shotgun is racked with a click that pierces the thunder. A fist punches through a contract, shredding paper into fragments that scatter into the rain. A neon sign flickers out, leaving only darkness. The screen cuts to black again, only to explode back with fire flames roaring against oil tanks. Shadows running in chaos, the world tearing apart under its own greed. The voice rises higher. This season, loyalty will be tested. Families will be torn, and the land will decide who survives. The music surges into a pounding crescendo. The images come too fast to breathe. The glint of a knife under a table, a truck door slamming shut, a phone left ringing unanswered, a shadowed figure loading a rifle, a briefcase tossed into the trunk of a car. The earth shakes again as lightning splits the sky wide open, illuminating the rigs pumping harder, faster, like they're keeping time with the chaos. The voice drives the final words like iron. No deal is safe. No bond is unbreakable. No soul is untouchable. The screen cuts to silence. For a moment, nothing moves. The darkness feels endless. Then one sound. The slow, heavy clang of a pump jack. Once, twice, a third time. With each strike, a word appears in bold, white letters on the black screen. Landman returns. The music roars back in, louder than ever, layered with drums and thunder and the roar of engines. The screen flashes. The Paramount Plus logo shines bright, cold, and commanding. Beneath it, the words burn onto the screen as if seared into metal. Season 2 premieres November 16th, only on Paramount Plus. The sound of oil bursting from the ground crashes against the final note of the score, spilling into the silence like a final warning. The last image is stark, a silhouette standing with his back to the audience, coat whipping in the storm, watching the oil field blaze with fire and lightning. He does not move, he does not turn. He simply stands, unshakable, a monument to power. The screen slams to black. One final sound echoes a gun cocks loud and sharp. Then silence, and then the closing line, whispered low, unforgettable. The land remembers, and now, so will you. The Paramount Plus logo fades in again, steady, unyielding, fade out.